And you've just heard Old Town Blue Door, which is taken from Kenna Ross's new album, In the Moment. And I'm delighted to be joined by Kenna now. Hello.
Hello.
So what can you tell us about the album, In the Moment?
So In the Moment is a collection of compositions, as we would say, of some that I've made in lockdown when I was kind of bored, because I never really was into composing music on the piano, because I normally like playing other people's music in the back of bands. But when I was bored, I was just thinking away, doing different things on the piano, and I thought, oh, that's quite good. So I just took ideas, and then I went to Stornoway in Easter last year, I think it was, because I'd spoken to Keith Morrison and had his studio, and I knew that he was piano based, so I really wanted to go and just visit what it looked like. And as soon as I walked in, I was like, oh, I really want to record here. And so then I had to get some more tunes to actually make an album, just to have a little experiment with my music and more recording experience, really. And then it just kind of spiraled into what it is now, a whole album of music. Yeah.
What was it about that space that made you think, yeah, I want to record here? What was the kind of specialness about it?
Well, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, so the view out is so nice and special. And also the grand piano. I think every grand piano, I just go, oh, a grand piano. And being able to record a grand piano in such a special place is just, yeah, just really nice.
And it's your debut original album. It's your own compositions, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about the process? You know, how does it start when you're composing? Because I have no idea.
Yeah, it's all different ways. I don't have one particular way yet. I probably will start to get my way of composing, but I just sit at the piano and think, because I work with chords a lot in bands, I normally start with a few chords and then just play a few more notes and then see what that turns into. I normally only have like 20 seconds of a song, and I go, oh, that's an idea, record that on my phone, and then keep building on it, really. There was one song, Merry Dancers, where I just was sitting in the living room one day, and I think it was close to recording day, and I thought, I can't just have 7 songs. I'm going to have 8 songs or 9 songs. I ended up with 8. So I said to my mum, can you give me 8 notes? And I'll pick a key. And then I made Merry Dancers, and that happened. Is like a little riff kind of thing that happened there. So that one was very random and happened there, but I quite like that one. But yeah, they're all different styles as well, because I do get inspiration from all different music, and I think it kind of shows in the album. It's very smooth and easy listening, but there is also like the Old Town Blue Door is very kind of Spanish sounding and a little bit different, and then Adrift is all smooth, and Northbound is very Scottish sounding, so it's all different. Yeah.
I was going to ask you about influences on your music. Are there anyone in particular that you could mention?
Over the past few years, I've really got into Scottish music because I wasn't into it when I was younger. We didn't really have a lot in Nairn, where I'm from. So being able to go to different festivals and hear like Scottish music in a different way has been my kind of inspiration lately. I was very into listening to like Billy Joel for a while. I like that kind of bass. I don't know if you can hear that in the song. So there are just a lot of piano-based music or piano-based songs that people do. I'm really into.
Billy Joel's an interesting one because, of course, a great piano player himself. But I didn't pick that up when I was listening to you. But
no, you can't.
Next time I listen, you never know. I think there's something. I think there's something really magical about the piano, which I think is why I love the album so much. If I could choose to. I know you don't choose to play it, you learn that you probably should work at it, but I've not done that. If I could choose to play an instrument, I think the piano would definitely be it. So what's your story as a musician? How did it begin and how has it developed?
So I started playing piano when I was 9. I had a piano teacher out of school. I also played violin before piano, so that kind of introduced me. I think I've won they do like a who gets to play an instrument in school in primary 5, and I was the top person, and that was the first time that I'd ever been like, oh, I'm good at something. Oh, okay. So my mom was like, okay, she's good at something. Let's try and put her more into this. So I was on the waiting list for piano. And then when the piano came around, I was so into that because you can see the piano in the background. I don't know if that'll be.
Yes.
Yeah, that was my first piano. And as soon as I got that, I would sit it every day. And it helped to get different emotions out of me that I didn't really explore like verbally. So that really helped me. And then I didn't ever play in front of anyone. I was so shy in school, couldn't play in front of anyone unless it was orchestra. And then when I joined college in 2014, I was put in a band, and I was like, oh, you would play in front of people. But I was put at the back of the band, and it was fine because like no one was looking at me. And I would just play a few chords, and I was like, oh, this is fun. And then that just kind of happened. But playing my own music now is just such a completely different thing because I never thought I'd be even writing my own music, never mind like playing it in front of people. So it's all new experiences every year, I suppose, with music.
So you kind of used to use the piano to almost hide behind if you were on stage. You could.
Yes. Yeah.
And what was the push? I mean, you mentioned COVID, but what was the push to kind of do your own stuff? Because you have been playing mainly with other people and other musicians.
Mm-hmm. In university, I had to write a couple of songs, but they never really, I never really enjoyed that side of it until probably the studio last year at Lee Studio, where they were like, "Oh, this is quite good," and I was like, "Oh, is it?" And then that kind of sparked that, "Oh, I could do this, I could do this," and since then I've been really enjoying writing my own little tunes. Yeah.
Was it a kind of confidence thing then? Do you think there was
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Not thinking that I'm good enough at the writing.
Because before we started recording, I said how much I liked the album. So you're still getting used to people saying that.
Saying it's good, yeah.
But how do you feel about it now that it's recorded and you've launched it and it's out there? I mean, you should be proud of it.
Yeah, I'm very proud of it. It's the only thing that I've ever been able to listen to that I'm in. I've played in so many different bands and like recordings and things, and I can never listen to them. I just hate hearing myself play. But in this album, I can listen to it. I can actually just sit down and listen to it in the background or and enjoy listening to it, which is such a weird thing for me to like. But that means that I like it and it's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very proud of it.
And that it's all your thing as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you mentioned when you first started, you realized that you could almost, what's the word I'm looking for? Get out your emotions through playing that you might not do in any other ways. I mean, that's an interesting idea. Is that still the case?
Probably, I would say, yeah. I don't play as hard as I used to. I used to, if I was upset at something, I would go and just bang on the piano, and like I wouldn't know, but my mom, I didn't even realize I was doing it. My mom would just come and tell me, Kenna must be upset because she's really hitting them keys today. Yeah, but now I'm better at speaking. But it does really help me relax when I just sit at the piano and play.
You know, when we were younger, my brother had a drum kit, and now I'm thinking again about what he was going through when he was playing the drums as hard as he did. It was probably something very, very similar.
Yeah.
And you mentioned kind of discovering a love of Scottish music. I mean, there is some great kind of Scottish and traditional music around there. Is that something that you just take to more and more and has influenced this album in itself?
Yeah, I would say so. I went to Tyree Festival in 2018 and I was like, oh, this is what I'm missing. Because I was like, so like, I don't know, not against Scottish music, but I just knew Scottish music as like two people playing accordion and a guitar at a school dance. That's all I knew of it. And so seeing it live, and it was Scary Boar and Skippinish that year and Elephant Sessions, and I was like, oh, this is cool. They're doing new stuff. Like this is so much better than I thought it would be. So then it opened me up because I was just like so closed off about Scottish music, and now I'm just so into it. It's yeah.
I think that's a very common experience. I mean, and one that I had certainly when I was younger was exactly that. But then I think the live experience is a big part of seeing people really enjoying playing what they do. You know, and you've just back from the Head Festival. Yeah. How was that?
Yeah, it was really good. I was playing with Scots Whay Hae filling in for piano for him because he produced and wrote some of my albums. So he asked me to go over, and it was such a nice festival there. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Scots. We've had him on the show actually previously. He's, yeah, a fantastic musician.
Yeah.
And again, go back to that, the live thing, was it seeing these bands and the energy that can come from playing live? Because I didn't, until I saw certain bands live, I didn't really think about the energy that and the kind of joy that could happen from playing that kind of music.
Yeah, definitely. And when you see the crowd like going wild, you're like, oh yeah, I need to be part of this too. Like it's really cool. And like they're so like such a group of people. Like they're just so together and help each other out with everything, and it's so nice. Yeah.
And we've mentioned you've played with a lot of other musicians. Can you maybe talk about doing that? How that you got into doing that, playing with other bands?
So when I was in college and they put me to the back of the band, I was like, oh, this is where I belong. Like as soon as like even on at Head Celt with Scott, I was like, oh yeah, I feel so much more comfortable at the back of the band. I was away with an artist called Gendry a couple of years ago, where we went to Lollapalooza in Paris and Montreux Jazz Festival, where I was just playing like synth stuff, and I just really enjoy it. It's like it doesn't feel too difficult to do for me, but that's probably because I do piano. But the whole experiences that we've had there were amazing, and then that's opened other doors for me playing with a girl called Bianca James in London, and I just kind of travel wherever anyone needs me to go. I play like weddings and stuff as well, so yeah, try and do whatever you can do with the piano. Like I just use it as much as I can.
And there's also been talking about festivals. There's a real growth in festivals now. So there is plenty of opportunities, I think, not just for you to play in different places, but for people to go out and see this music that we're talking about live.
Yeah, definitely. It's sometimes a shame though, because some of the smaller festivals are not being able to run as much anymore. But there is all the new festivals. Like I was at Heartland Festival in May, and that was a great festival that was just started this year, and they're back next year. So yeah, there's all, and I play in local bands as well, so it's good to get around them and see everyone. Yeah,
because there's a real kind of thriving music scene in the north of Scotland, isn't there?
Yeah. Up in Inverness, we've got our little small community, and then traveling down to Glasgow and Edinburgh. There's so many songwriters, so many amazing songwriters, and so many there, and yeah, it's really nice to be part of it all. Well, I think I'm part of it all.
No, I think you're definitely part of it all.
Yeah.
This conversation has definitely nailed that one down. You're definitely part. And you did, talking about Inverness, you launched the album at Eden Court recently. How was that?
Oh, I was so nervous. I was so nervous for that. Like I had someone, the saxophone player, say on the way through, I was like, I'm so sorry, you've got to take me to this, because you're seeing like the most nervous Kenna right now. My mum normally has to deal with that. But yeah, it was really good. It was so nice. I think the nerve-wracking thing was that I knew everyone in the audience, because it was like for me, and we had Scott as well. And I knew everyone in the audience in the afternoon. I was like, this is the most nerve-wracking I'll probably be. But it was really good because it settled me into it all. And we've got Bella Drum this week, so I won't be so nervous for that because we've already done it at Eden Court. But it was really nice. It was such a nice day, and the sun came out. And yeah, we had quite a big audience in the afternoon, and then the evening one, because the sun was out, everyone was sitting on the hill, and it was really nice. And I think everyone enjoyed it. So yeah.
Oh, so you had two performances of it?
Yeah, so under Canvas they have afternoon performance and an evening performance, same set, so you can just go and choose what one you want to go to. That was really good.
That's great. And you mentioned, did you say Melodrum there? You're going to be playing that coming up?
Yeah, we're playing on Friday, in the Grassroots tent, so that'll be nice.
And have you plans to play further live gigs?
I haven't planned anything yet, because my band, I'd somehow picked musicians all around Scotland. So it's really hard to get them all together. So these two gigs were like the main two that I'd planned just to celebrate the album. And obviously I'm a session piano player, so I've got lots of other gigs planned for other bands. But this one, I'll see what opportunities happen. But I'm not pushing anything yet.
It screams Celtic connections to me, but
I've
that's
had a couple of people say that. Yeah, yeah,
that's me just being greedy because I'm based in Glasgow, but it really does. I mean, I can see that being a fantastic idea. And have you thought about what you may do next, or you just, this is in the moment, is in the moment, and that's it at the moment?
Yeah, I would say that exactly. Yeah, it's in the moment right now. See what happens with it. If it gets anything happen, then we'll move on. And then I would love to record more music. I'm thinking I've got a couple of ideas, but I won't rush anything. Yeah.
No, but it sounds like you've come a long way from someone who wouldn't play in front of anyone to, you know, headlining your own shows.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm thinking like 12-year-old Kenna would be like, really different person.
Kenna, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's a beautiful album. I really have been enjoying it. So it's a real pleasure to hear more about it.
Oh, thank you.
And this is Kenna Ross and Adrift.